Alright, so today we're going to show you a yoga routine you can do anywhere. First, we enter into a child pose. It's my favorite yoga move. I always jump into this position when I start to do any exercise. So from child pose, we can extend your arm from up and then to your other arm, down and backwards to stretch your back muscle. So here we are stretching our shoulders, mostly rear delt. And then from there, we switch side, we go to the other side. So this video is going to be a follow along video. You can play the video, put your phone or laptop, your tablet in front of you and just follow and do what I do. So the point of yoga is to do it slow and really feel every part of your body that you're supposed to work on. So from child pose, we move on to cat-cow. This is also an exercise I really like. I always make sure to involve it in my warm-up routine. Basically, you want to imagine a wave from your neck to your hips and then going back up. So here I send the wave from my hip to my shoulders, and then I reverse that wave from my shoulder to the hips, to my hips. You want to feel like your body is like a wave, electric wave or something like that, and you send that wave all the way through your spine. It's really a spinal exercise. You want to do it as slow as possible and feel every part of your spine like that. You can do it slow, and also I think it helps to focus on anterior pelvic tilt. And when you send the wave back up to your back, you want to really project your shoulders. So from here we are doing some Superman pose. So extend your opposite arms and legs to also, it's a spinal exercise to extend your spine, but it actually goes beyond your spine because you are extending all the way from your fingertips to your toes tips. So imagine your body is like a string or elastic cord, and you want to extend it as long as possible, as far as possible. So again, you want to do it very slow on the floor and feel your spine being stretched. And this is the point of today's yoga session, is to feel the stretch in every part of your body and really have that peace in your mind and not to rush. And this is the first time I do this whole yoga routine. So in today's session, we're just going to focus on yoga, nothing else. So it's not going to be very intense. So here is we're working on some back mobility, some back bending warm up. So you can grab your ankle and squeeze your back. The point is to feel the middle of your shoulder blades, the spot in between your shoulder blades, and also maybe some part of your lower back as well. You can at first engage your lower back and feel the stretch also on your abdominal. If you place your feet on the ground, then it's more intense. If you dorsiflex, then your ankle is higher, so it's less intense. So for today's exercise, you can feel free to adjust the progression to your current level. So the point is to feel your body stretched and stay in that uncomfortably comfortable zone. So it's not to overstretch or to feel pain in your body. If you feel any pain, then you need to stop immediately, because then you're not stretching, and then we lose the point of yoga. So here you just lay back, and if you cannot do this progression, then feel free to maintain in maybe 30-degree or 45-degree, just the previous progression, holding your ankle and lean back. I always play some music when I do this routine. So as you watch this video many times, as you get used to this routine, you can also have your music or even podcast along your exercise. So here is some Superman variation. We're working on our back, our posterior muscles here. So we do like 5 reps and then we hold it. If this is too easy, feel free to grab some weights. But in today's video, we're just gonna be doing with our body weight. So it's important to keep your arms straight and do it slow and feel the squeeze when we reach the back end of our body. So when we move our arm backwards, we rotate, and so it creates that ideal position to a better position to squeeze our muscle. So after 5 reps of each, we do some stretch our abdominal. And then from here, we grab our ankles. We enter into another more intense back stretching routine. Yeah, here your body is like a boat, so keep the balance on your hips and grab your ankle. You can grab it from inside or outside, doesn't really matter. But what matters is that you engage your upper back, your rear delts of your shoulders, your rhomboid, your scapulas. So you want to make sure you engage your shoulders so you don't get hurt in your spine. So we do this whole routine again from Superman position. I call it Superman pull-ups position, because here you imagine that you're doing pull-ups, but you want to really squeeze your back, and you want to reach your elbows to your left. That's it. And if you can, keep your legs straight and keep your leg touch each other's. Keep your legs together and knees straight. Engage your glutes. So from pull-ups, we move to like a wind shelf position. Right, from here we grab our ankles again, and then engage our posterior chain. Lift up your chest and head. Look in front of you. You squeeze it for another 3 seconds, another 2 breaths. Slowly relax. Some more stretch in anterior chain. Alright, going back to child pose again. We will do add some child pose here and there in between exercise, just to relax our muscle. So now we're going to do some bridge attempts. So we first stay on the ground and then drive from our hips. You might want to squeeze your glutes like this. So make sure your body is a straight line. Squeeze your glutes and your shoulders. Push your hands deep into the ground, and from here we raise our one side of our body and look back. So it will be something like a wheel position, but with one hand on your ground. But you don't have to touch the ground with your other hand, just remain in the air, and we go from the other side. So when we reach back, our body is like a wheel position, but with only one hand on the ground. So same, you want to squeeze your posterior muscles, your glutes. So it's also to protect your spine. Do one more on each side. If you can touch the ground, you can enter into a wheel position from here. That's one. Last one on the right side. Then if you can, then move into wheel pose. If you cannot, then simply regress and go back to the bridge pose. So in the wheel pose, you want to kind of push from your ankle, so to get even more stretch on your shoulders. Alright, so that was for our back bending routine. And right now we have some side opening. Well, it's also for your back and shoulders. So it's also a warm-up I like to do before my calisthenic workouts. You open one side of your body and look up, with one arm remains on the ground. You can adjust the width between your feet just to have a stable ground. And from here, we step back. We take a step back and we rotate, open up. So it's like a reverse plank, but closer to the wheel. More like a side wheel, I would say. And then we go back, and then we put our leg kind of under, going under another leg, and then open up from the other side.
Yeah.
This is my all-time favorite, I would say, shoulders opener. I do it almost every time I work out. You can reverse the video if you didn't see clearly the movement. And after one cycle, then we went to some downward facing up to stretch our shoulders, enter into the push-up bottom position. Rest a little bit and then stretch our abdominal before we go into our next round. Open up the other side of our body. Again, downward facing up. I really like downward facing up and child pose. I think they're just perfect to reset our body and just some rest in between exercise and some stretch. Also, like, give ourselves some boost on body blood circulation and reset our heartbeat. Alright, one more, downward facing up. Then we kind of walk back to plank position and open up our right side. So you have your feet standing apart, placing apart from each other. So you have a stable foundation, and then you can open up your one side and look up. You do 3 reps on each side, and then we open up and look back. So the third one, remain on the top, and then from here we place our outside foot to the other side behind us, and then we open up and look back. This is our side wheel, don't know how to call it. And then from here we enter into the plank position, but we move the same leg this time underneath inward. Then same, we open up and look back. It's kind of a weird position, but if you are doing this, it will make sense to you. Just watch carefully about the footwork. All right, so that was I think that was for our back bending. So now just we're stretching our. This is for our pec. This is for our chest. If you do a lot of gym workouts or pushing workouts, and this is for you. From here, we're not yet lifting our shoulders. Here we're stretching our torso, thoracic, and lumbar spine by just placing one leg behind us. Yeah. Then from here, if you already feel enough stretch on your torso, then we start lifting our shoulders, the same side of our shoulders, and flip it back. So really put the tension on the other side of our shoulders to open up our chest. Now be careful, you don't want to like snap anything. Just feel like your chest is close to being snapped. It's a really comfortable exercise. You don't have to do at the same angle as I did. You can find your comfortable angle and stay there. So going back to back to facing down position. Have a little rest before we open up the other side. Same, we start with rotating our hips. We do not yet lifting our shoulders. Shoulders remain intact, contact to the ground. First, feel the stretch in your hips, in your torso, lumbar, in your spine, other part of your spine. If you can, then touch the ground with your toes. If you can't, then just remain in the air. Then when you feel enough, then start lifting your shoulders. The same, you wanna do some just rotation as if what you were do to turn and flips on your back when you sleep. Here you can also rest. And for a few breathe, then we'll come back. Alright, so that was the back bending routine. Hope you had enough stretch in your upper body and shoulders. So now we move our focus to the lower body, the hips and hamstring. So this video actually has two parts. The first part was the upper chin, and then the second part would be the lower body focus. So this is also the hips opener I always do is the very low intensity one, because you can adjust your own intensity by deciding how far you will go. Just sit down and open up your hips. If you can, then press your knees to the ground. The lower your knees are, the better. Right, so we enter into a straddle position. You don't have to open your legs very, very wide. It's just a straddle position, and then we start stretching our right side. So here we're doing PNF. Basically, you do 10 active reps, 10 or 15, and then every reps you go a little bit deeper than you naturally can. And then for the last rep, you stay in that position for about 10 seconds, and then you rest. So from here, we move to the other side, our left side, same in the straddle position. And then start pushing for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Every reps go deeper. Then now for the last rep, you want to hold it for 5 to 10 seconds beyond your comfort zone, and then rest in that position for 15 to 30 seconds. This is PNF exercise, and it can be applied to all kind of stretching, especially for your legs. From the left side, we move to the middle. So also you can do PNF with good morning exercise. Here we're doing some taps by your hands. So just go as far as you can go. Just remember each rep you go a little bit deeper than your body allows you to go. So kind of use a little bit of momentum. And for the last rep, you hold it at the uncomfortable zone, at the zone that you just created for 10 seconds. And then you enter into a rest in that position. So just to teach your body that this is a comfortable zone to stay at. This is the first PNF that we do. And then from here, you just find a surface to rest. So I recommend to get a block or a pillow below your head so that you can rest. It's important that your body is relaxed so that your body is not tensed or is not tight when you rest. This is important because if your body recognize that this is not a comfortable position, if you're struggling, then your body cannot relax, that it will stay very tight. So you need to be relaxed to really create a new range of motion when you're stretching. So right now we're doing the second PNF of today, but actually it's the same mechanism, is that you, instead of tapping forward, you raise your legs. So it's the same, that we're trying to, out of the hamstring leg stretching exercise, the point is to fold our body. So instead of bending forward, this time we raise our legs. And when we raise our leg, we're engaging our core and quadriceps, and they're exactly opposites to the body that we want to stretch, which are our hamstring and glutes and hips. So by doing this, we fatigue the antagonist muscle to the muscle that we want to stretch. We fatigue the antagonist muscle. So what this does is that it hinders the stretching inhibition mechanism that our body naturally have. So the stretching inhibition basically is that the more you stretch your body, the more your body want to resist the stretch. It's just our body's mechanism to protect us from overstretching. So, but that sometimes it can inhibit our stretching progress, because the more we stretch, then the more tight we find our muscle to become. So we want to remove this effect by first fatiguing the antagonist muscle, and then we can stretch but without the inhibition of this effect. So right now we just finished one side of the PNF. So right now we're stretching and resting. So after doing a few active rest, you'll find that your body is softer and it's easier to stretch it, that you can go deeper. So we move to the other side. The same, you can adjust your this comfortable position. Obviously the farther your hands are, the more difficult the exercise is. Then the more lean back you are, the easier the exercise is. But the point is to not round your back and to have your legs straight, because doing on both sides requires more mobility. So from the beginning, I will suggest to just focus on one side. So now we're working on our left side, right? We just finish 10 active reps. Now we are resting in this position that we just created. And the same, if you cannot touch your feet with your hand, you cannot rest your head on your knees, then it's recommended to get a pillow or a block on your knees, just so that your head can rest and just you can completely relax into this position. All right, so Right now we're back to hips again. This is also we're gonna finish with this stretch, and basically 2 legs at the same time. If this is too advanced for you, simply do the previous exercise again. But if you can, then bear with me. Let's do this 10 reps and hold it at the bottom for 6 seconds, and then enter into a deep rest. So this is a pancake. You want your shoulders to be in contact with the ground and fully rest for 1 to 2 minutes. It's our final stretch, so take it easy. Of course, find an adjusted surface if you need to. And this will be the end of our routine today. Thank you guys for watching. I hope this helped. You can do this 3 times a week. The final part was pretty intense, so take it to your own level. And thank you for watching. I'll see you guys in my next video.